good morning or afternoon or whatever time of day it is for you. So let's go ahead and go through this problem. Now that you've done distributing and combining like terms, we're going to put them together because when you're doing multi-step equations, like we will be next week, you're going to have to do both together. So here we have a beautiful problem. 9/4 times 10/3 x minus 4, parentheses, minus 1/4 times 2x minus 8. So I think one of the most important things to remember is that if there's a sign in front of a number, it belongs to that number. So like this -4, that is a -4. This is a -1/4. Got it? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Throw this off to the side. Okay, so let's look at this side. So 9/4 times 10/3, 9/4 times -4. Let's focus on that first, and then we'll go focus on the other side. So you can do reducing. So I know this is 3 times 3. I know this is 2 times 5. I know this is 2 times 2. So I have a 3 here that I can mark out, a 2 here, and a 2 here. So I am left with a 3 and a 5 on top. So 3 times 5 is 15. And I'm left with a 2 on bottom. Since this problem started out in fractions, we're not changing it to a decimal. That is, we simplify and that's it. If it starts as a fraction, it has to end as a fraction. So if you're one of those people that's like really gung-ho about turning everything into a decimal, it's not gonna fly here. You gotta keep it whatever form it was, you keep it. Okay? So then we have, let me go ahead and erase some of this mess so you can see. There we go. So with that 15 halves, we have an x because the x was with 10/3. So now we're going to do 9/4 times -4. So remember, to make it a fraction, we put a 1 under it. So now, as you can see, this 4 is here, this 4 is here. We can cancel those out. But notice, this negative sign is still there. It's still floating. So that negative is going to become best friends with that 9. So we're going to have -9. And you can put over 1, but really it's just 9. It's not anything else. And once we multiply and distribute, we get rid of those parentheses. So now we're left with just 15 halves x minus 9 over 1. So let's look at this next part. So we have 1/4 times 2, and that is a -1/4, and then 1/4 times -8. So right here, I know this is 2 times 2. Put a 1 under that, and that's just a 2, so I can get rid of these 2's. So then what am I left with? A 1 on top, a 2 on bottom, and another 1. So this was a -1. So, and in case you're not sure, when it comes to fractions, if you see that negative, I'm just gonna make up a 7/8. Like if you see that negative out in the middle, that belongs to the top number. It doesn't belong, like you're not gonna have -7 over -8. Integer rules, if I'm dividing a negative by a negative, that would become a positive. So that just doesn't work, okay? So let's get back to this. So I end up with -1/2 because I am left with a 1 and a 2. And I erase some of this to kind of, erase too much. Sorry. Okay, off to the side. There you go. Okay, so next I am doing -1/4 times -8. Okay, so I'm actually gonna write that down here so you can really see. So -1/4 times -8 over 1. That's what we're looking at. So this 8 can become 4 times 2. So I know that I have a 4 here, a 4 up here, so I'm gonna get rid of those 4's, cross them out, they're crisscrossed. This 1 and 1 it's not gonna make a difference. Like there's always gonna be an invisible 1, which might not make sense right now, but that's okay. So here I'm left with -1 times 2 over 1. So -1 times 2 is gonna be -2. And then that 1 on bottom, you can just write it like that, and I made a mistake and forgot my x. I don't know how I did that, but okay, I got excited about fractions. So here we go. Let me erase all this now. Okay, and actually I'm gonna put this negative, since it's being connected to that problem, I write it out here, that's just to show clarity that that is one problem. It's not just a -2 floating off by itself, okay? So now what do we have? We have combining like terms because I have an x right here and an x right here, and then I've got a constant and a constant. So let's go ahead, add -15 halves and -1 half. Fractions have to have common denominators, so 15 plus 1 is going to be, or actually 15 minus 1 because it's negative. That's going to be 14 over 2, which is just 7. So we are left with a nice 7x. I'm sorry, I have to keep erasing. I'm just trying to make sure I show you guys all my steps. I don't want to skip anything. Okay, so 7x. And then we have that -9 minus 2. We're going to ignore the ones. So -9 minus 2. I'll write it right here. Minus 2 is -11, so minus 11. And this would be our answer. Whew, that was a lot. But it'll get easier as time goes by, and we're not always going to have fractions. That's why I was showing you one with fractions, because I want you to see that you are going to get those. And on this one, it worked out really nicely to where our fractions ended up being whole numbers, but sometimes there'll be actual fractions at the end, and that's okay. I've learned that a lot of people kind of, when they get a fraction in their answer, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is right, and it is. So don't be scared of fractions. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys later.